jeans, am I right? As most of you likely know, Japanese denim is generally regarded as the best denim in the world, with just a handful of small, boutique brands topping the list of the best. Chief among them is Momotaro. Hailing from the promised land of Japanese denim, Kojima, Momotaro was founded in 2006. Over the past nearly 20 years of existence, they have built a unique identity for themselves as a brand known for especially fine denim, all made by hand and containing tons of fantastic little details which connect to folklore surrounding their namesake. A few years ago, Nick did an excellent video reviewing a pair of Momotaro jeans in which he does a pretty deep dive into the brand's history and the story of where the name came from. So, if you're not familiar with the tale of the demon fighting Peach Boy, no, really, head on over and give that video a watch. Now, part of what prompted us kind of returning to the brand and doing another video, Momotaro has undergone a little bit of an interesting rebranding as of late. There's a lot of things getting shaken up right now in Okayama in terms of different brands and looms being purchased and bought out by other companies. It's not clear whether or not Momotaro's sort of brand refresh is related to all that change, but either way, now seemed like the time that they decided it was time to freshen up things a little bit. So gone is the little Peach Boy emblem on the back patches and replaced by a much more sleek, modern, or even stylized kind of emblem that you'll see on these pants. They've also started mixing up some of their sizing and fits to emphasize a little bit more, modern or contemporary sort of streetwear looks. They've also brought in some different dyeing techniques and different styles to make them sort of feel and look a little bit more like a fashion brand. Now, that isn't to say it's been a complete rebrand. Some of the same details that you know and love are still here. This pair that I have today is the number 200 Tapered Silk. Yeah, silk. These jeans are made from 58% Zimbabwe cotton and 42% silk. But what does that actually mean for the way the jeans feel? And does that justify their almost $800 price tag? Recently, as in like a week ago recently, Momotaro sent these over for us to take a look at. Now, typically when I do review something, I like to have had a lot of time with that thing. So much of what makes Japanese denim special and enjoyable comes down to how it breaks in, molds to your body, and fades to reflect the way you live. With that in mind, this is going to be a little bit more of a first impression kind of review, with a follow-up coming sometime down the road. But for now, there's still plenty to talk about. As previously mentioned, these jeans are made from a combination of Zimbabwe cotton and silk. Zimbabwe cotton is a particularly long staple type of cotton, which results in a smooth, strong, and slightly shiny finish to the fabric. Adding silk into that mix increases that silky smooth hand feel, which is even more noticeable on the inside of the jeans. The denim is a deep blue, almost black color, a signature of Momotaro's Takuno blue dyeing technique, which deepens the color of the synthetic indigo itself. At 15 ounces, it's a nice medium weight, not too heavy, stiff, or terribly starchy. As one might expect, they are replete with great little details and signs of handmade craftsmanship. The stitching and seams throughout the jeans are clean and uniform for the most part, with a few errant strands here and there, but otherwise nothing too egregious. The hems are chain stitched, and the iconic pink selvedge ID is present and accounted for. The updated Momotaro logo backed rivets are found hiding throughout the jeans, and the back patch is a monotone piece of black cowhide leather. But probably my favorite detail is on the inside of the waistband, which is beautifully lined with a folded fabric. It made me realize how uncomfortable normal denim waistbands can actually be. Talking a little bit about fit and sizing here, because this is one of the things that they have changed. Typically, I wear a 30 or a 31 waist. Pretty much all of my other jeans are a 30. I went onto Momotaro's website and checked their sizing chart using a tailor's tape to measure other pairs of similar jeans that I have, and ultimately went with the 30. Boy, oh boy, were they tight. Really tight. The traditional wisdom when it comes to raw denim is to buy your jeans pretty tight so that they stretch out to a perfect fit. I did that once. it sucked, resulting in a pair of jeans that were an absolute torture device for like the first month. With subsequent pairs, I've just bought the size of the waist that fits snugly but comfortably from the get-go, and I've never looked back. According to Momotaro, these are not sanforized per se, but do undergo a rinsing process of sort that is meant to reduce shrinking. The website and the tags on the jeans say that the jeans will shrink a bit when washed, but when we asked for more information on that, Momotaro told us that they did not expect these jeans to shrink much, allowing to the combination of cotton and silk. So it's kind of anyone's guess what's going to happen when I actually come to wash these for the first time. A quick Google search or Reddit dive will tell you that Momotaro are notoriously stubborn when it actually comes to stretching and do not typically give you that 1 to 3 inch wiggle room that other denim manufacturers will. To solve this problem, I actually went and bought a pair of jean stretchers. Is that cheating in the eyes of the denim purists? I don't know, probably. Do I care? No, not particularly, because I can actually breathe when I wear them now. But the point is, you keep them under tension for a couple of days and let the wood sort of do the job for you and stretch them out. And now as a result of that, they're relatively comfortable. I do notice that after wearing them for a full day, they do kind of tighten back up a little bit. So again, we'll see. We'll see where they go. I don't think that there's going to be a huge amount of stretch here because the average person isn't going to be nerdy enough to have a pants stretcher. One of the benefits that silk has, according to Momotaro, there's a natural elasticity that it's going to provide to the fabric. My only other concern is because of that they actually have some unintended reinforcement, and that's going to also fight me in terms of stretching them a little bit more. Also, to be on the safe side, I would stick to cold water soaks in the tub with hand agitation for the first couple times, and for the love of God, steer clear of the dryer. Take that into consideration and add a little bit of extra caution to it, and maybe consider sizing up. Apart from the waist, the fit elsewhere is really pretty great. This specific pair is the tapered fit, but is also available in slim and straight leg. They describe the rise as slightly low, but I actually find it to be closer to more of a mid-rise. Talking about the pros and cons. Signature Stridewise pros and cons. The finish of the jeans when they're new is absolutely beautiful. It's this dark, rich, almost sort of shimmery kind of finish, resulting in a really dressy, elegant, and luxurious looking pair of jeans. And they're going to be the kind of jeans that you can definitely dress up and wear in a more formal settings or less casual settings. The actual weave of the fabric is super uniform and pretty consistent. If you look really closely, you can see some kind of slubby knotting, but it's really pretty minimal. And as a result of that, these look almost more in line with more European jeans rather than your sort of super rustic, slubby kind of traditional Japanese denim that you might expect, which again, could be a pro or a con. For me, I tend to like more consistent, even weaves to my denim. Overall, the fabric, it has a really nice silky kind of feeling to it, especially on the inside of the jeans. Right off the get-go, they really feel sort of smooth and comfortable. Probably my favorite detail right up top is that waistband curtain liner, which is the same cotton and polyester combination fabric as the pocket bags. Really smooth and nice and luxurious, and it kind of makes me wonder why I never thought of that in other jeans that I've had. So at 15 ounces, this is a mid-weight jean, but traditional wisdom is that silk has a moisture-wicking quality to it, so it's going to, kind of help you stay dry. But at the same time, that silk tends to be kind of warm for its weight, so these should be kind of a nice balance of an overall, like kind of all-season jean that you can probably wear in most temperatures. Another element of these that I really like is there's pretty minimal branding throughout the jeans. They're also lacking in Momotaro's iconic warrior stripes across the back pocket. That could be kind of a pro or a con depending on what you like. There's still plenty little nice details that you can find throughout the jeans. The new emblem and logo on the back patch or on the back side of the rivets, the pink selvedge ID, still make these feel like a cohesive part of the Momotaro brand. Overall, it's solid build quality, and I don't see any major red flags or things that are concerning me in terms of failure points down the road. They just feel like a really nicely finished pair of jeans overall. Obviously, the elephant in the room here, or the silkworm in the room, the price. These are $775 in this cut. That's a lot of money to pay for a pair of jeans. Even when you take into consideration that combination of Zimbabwe cotton and 42% silk, which again, to be fair, it should be noted, using silk and weaving that into the fiber with the cotton, that is much more difficult to do than just having a straight cotton fiber to begin with. There's really only a handful of people in the world and craftsmen who know how to do that. Very detailed work to even get this fabric to exist in the first place, which, shouldn't be understated. This next one is a little bit of a nitpicky gripe. When you really go over the jeans throughout, you will see that there are some sort of loose thread ends. Now, I completely understand that these are made by hand and are made with an incredible amount of skill, frankly, by very skilled artisans. At the same time, when you're talking about jeans of this kind of price point, and when I see little things like that, it just kind of irks me a little bit, especially, if I were paying $800 for them. There is a difference between the sort of evidence of hand work and just a little extra one pass of tidiness that I think should be done for something of this caliber. They're $800 jeans. There's a little bit of confusing guidance here on the sizing and the shrinkage. The website does warn about shrinkage, and then the tag as well indicates that some shrinkage would be expected. But when we reached out to Momotaro for clarification, they said that in the process of rinsing these, they applied some kind of a resin removal process, they said, that should minimize shrinking. And on top of that, silk, as a function of its nature, doesn't shrink really. But if you don't have access to reaching out to them like we do, you wouldn't necessarily know that. Companies should have as much clarity as humanly possible, as visibly as possible on their websites. So this next one, it depends on really what your preferences are. Some people may find that smooth, silky, uniform finish a little bit uninspiring. Time will tell how these, develop and fade. When you look very closely, again, you do see very fine knotting. So I think these are going to be more interesting as they kind of evolve. And again, this could be a pro or a con depending on your preference, but being that they're lacking the sort of iconic, white war stripes on the back of the pants, you might like that, you might not, kind of depends on you. The truth of the matter is, I'm not really able to give my usual neat and tidy conclusion. That will really only come with wearing these over the next weeks and months. Many of the questions that I have about the real tangible benefits of silk will only come once the jeans have broken in and softened up. Based on the initial smoothness of the overall fabric, I expect these will honestly feel like an absolute dream. A part of me kind of hopes that after 3 to 6 months, I find there to be little difference between these and my already extremely expensive $300 to $400 pairs of jeans, and I will be left with a closet full of jeans that are now nowhere near as nice and silky and smooth and luxurious as these are. For now, I can only judge these as one may judge a book by their cover. They're beautiful, they're understated, they're elegant, and they're silky smooth. And I'm pretty excited to see how they develop with time and wear. That does it for my initial kind of first impression review of the Momotaro 200s, the silk and Zimbabwe cotton blend. What do you guys think? Am I completely insane for even considering an $800 pair of jeans? Or are you kind of intrigued? I mean, part of this hobby is about finding really special, unique fabrics that you can't get anywhere else. And frankly, I think Momotaro may have outdone themselves with these. Stay tuned, check back in a few months, and I'll let you know what I think.